Welcome to Amazing Transformations. And we have one of my all time favorite returning guests here, Angela Fischetti. And for those of you who are new to this stream, please subscribe and like and share this info. And please visit my guest info in the description. I'm vegabowledgeJJ, and in 2019, I discovered a plant based diet, a raw food version of the diet, and changed my life. I lost 50 pounds, kept it off, reversed seasonal allergies or eliminated them, eliminated back pain. It's been a beautiful experience, and I've committed to sharing this knowledge with everyone and bringing on other talented, wonderful experts like Angela, who is going to give us a beginner yoga session. She's been on many times. I'll link all of the interviews so that you can see her wonderful content that she gives us, live interactive like workouts. I love it. And I'm just going to read her bio and then I'll stop rambling and let's get to the good stuff, to Angela. um, Angela is a virtual physical fitness and yoga instructor and massage therapist specializing in wellness for older adults. She began teaching seniors in her 30s at a time when she embarked on her own tough healing journey. 3 decades later, a senior, Miss Fischetti combines years of experience and research with a unique combination of empathy and encouragement for older adults seeking a healthier lifestyle. She also researches latest finds in senior fitness and consults with each client's medical practitioners for tailored workouts. As a massage therapist, she also works with geriatric patients with memory and other delicate disorders who benefit from gentle touch and movement in palliative care. Clients enjoy working with her for so many reasons, including her attention to detail, but also sense of humor. Um, I am so excited. Oh, let me finish up here. She has been serving clients for over 20 years. She has a Shakespearean theater background and a lifelong passion for song. She's also a devoted companion to felines, as am I. Because I have my little one here with me. And see all of her links in the description. And her main website is boomerandbeyondwellness.com. Visit that. And Angela, I know I could go on and on, but I am so excited to have you here. I had to keep it short so that we could get to the presentation because I know we have to end at 7ish. So welcome and thank you.
Thank you. That's such a sweet introduction. You make me laugh. I really appreciate it. I really, really enjoy visiting your platform, and I am honored actually that you give me the leeway to present different aspects of the work. So today's class is beginners yoga on the ball. And the reason why, JJ, that I like to use the ball is because instead of a chair, because you know that I like to work with a chair as well, but I like to bring the ball out because sitting on a ball requires balance. So it has its own little built-in tricks, and I have a couple of tips to share with everybody before we actually begin on how to sit on the ball, etc. So did you want to alter the camera at this point?
Yes, okay, I will do that. I didn't know if you were ready to get into it, so let's do
Yeah,
it. I'm going to take
thank you.
myself off the screen and leave our guest of honor here to you. I'm excited for this one.
Well, this one I actually thought of with Dawn because I know that she enjoys yoga. And I thought, she trains hard. And so this kind of a session is really nice for post strength training and if you're lifting weights, etc. It's a really nice way to chill out. So anyhow, so I was talking before about a couple of tips of just how to sit on the ball because your balance is challenged. So what typically happens is when somebody sits on a ball, they do this. And I'm going to go on a diagonal a little bit here. They do that. You see that? So what's happening is, first off, if you have knee issues, this could be a little funky because it's kind of a hyper flexion on the knee, a bit too much compression. But people are trying to actually hold the ball in place with their calves and their ankles and heels. So that's why they bring the lower legs all the way up against the ball. So what I'm going to tell you is my preference for you is that when you sit on the ball, you have your feet, your ankles slightly forward of your knees. The other thing is regarding the height of the ball that you would use. So I am like 5'6¼ 5'6½", and I sit on a 65-centimeter ball. Now, oftentimes people will sit in a chair or on a ball where their hips are lower than their knees. So what's happening there is right here is the acetobulofemoral joint on both sides. It's also known as the coxal joint. This is the hip joint. And what you want to do is when you're sitting in any seat and on a ball, you want to have this joint higher than the knee joint, the tibiofemoral joint. Because if you are with the butt lower than the knees, then you're going to start doing this stuff. Where else do people oftentimes encounter the hips lower than the knees on a seat? An airplane, it's like notorious for it. So like I bring a cushion with me when I go onto an airplane to give myself my seat a little more height. And also for someone like myself, I drive a really old car, and no, it doesn't have too much of a mechanism of adjustment, maybe a little bit. So I put a cushion under myself there as well. So this is how you want to sit. Now, I'm going to face you because this is another thing that people do. They sit like this on a ball immediately because the reason they're doing this, and it's smart, in a way it's really smart, because when we have a broader base of support on a ball, we feel more balanced. But that's kind of why I chose the ball. So let's get those feet a little bit more narrow and not touching the ball behind you, okay? And finally, the last tip here is when you sit in any chair, but on a ball as well, what we want to do is encourage the lower back to have its own natural lordotic curve. This occurs at the lumbar spine. It also occurs, by the way, at the neck, at the cervical spine. So what you do is you place your hands underneath the buttock flesh. You pull it not only, let me turn this way now, not only straight back, but then wick it out wide toward the shoulders. I'm going to tell you, just by doing that again right now with you, JJ, is my low back just went into proper placement. It's got that natural lordotic curve now. And this is what I mean. It's not stick straight, and it's not this. It's got a natural curve, and that's what you're looking for. And I'm going to tell you, if you sit in a seat, a chair like that, you're going to save yourselves backaches. And especially like with you, JJ, if you're at your computer all day long, pull your butt flesh back and out, and it will help you with any potential back issues. So the accessories we're going to be using today, pretty simple. Of course, we have the stability ball. That's what you want to look up online for yourselves, either a stability ball or a therapy ball. We're also using a sticky yoga mat. I have a couple of yoga blocks out, as well as a yoga strap. And I'm going to move right into the precautionary measures, medical disclaimers. They're a very important part of this, folks, because it'll help you with any modifications that you might need to incorporate if you have certain chronic conditions or chronic concerns. So first off, the ball and the mat. They're typically made out of latex. So if you do have a latex allergy, you want to look for non-latex or latex-free. Now, if you have any back spine issue whatsoever, but in particular, if you've ever been told not to forward flex the spine, not to bend down and pick up something, this could also apply to, but not exclusive to, osteoporosis of the spine, and also for a postural deviation called hyperkyphosis. And this is where you have that sort of hunched appearance. So for these three issues, I'm going to strongly suggest that you stay upright. You don't take the forward bending. Also, if you have hypertension, whether or not you're medicated for it, okay, for both. So if you're medicated or not for hypertension, if you have GERD or vertigo, I'm going to strongly suggest that you avoid this position of your neck, your cervical spine. So that's a forward flexion of the cervical spine. We want to avoid that. Keep your chin neutral. Now, conversely, for those of you who might have had a TIA, a transient ischemic attack, or a stroke, then you'll see me do some movements where we're going to do some back extension, spine extension. It's a form of back bending. And when I do it, I love to go for hyperextension of the cervical spine of the neck. Now, it's perfectly safe to do that. However, if you've had a TIA or a stroke, I want you to avoid the hyperextension of the neck. You too keep your chin neutral. Now, if you have had a hip replacement, or if you have osteoporosis of the hips, wide-legged postures. You may have been told not to bring them too wide. So if a medical healthcare practitioner advised you, you follow that, okay? So for you folks, you can bring your legs more narrow. I'm going to show modifications, so therefore you will still get the benefit out of the work. Let's see what else we have in store for you. Okay, I'm on a ball. We're talking about incorporating the ball because we want to bring in the element of balance. When you have an element of balance, man, your little muscles, they all start working to help support the larger muscles, because the work is never ever reductionist. It's never about one muscle working. This is about working. The body is working systemically. So if you have vestibular challenges, this is challenges with your balance, I'm going to strongly suggest a couple of things. Number one, never exercise. I don't care what type of exercise by yourself. Have a companion with you, and don't use the ball. You can do this whole class sitting in a chair. You want to make sure the chair doesn't have any wheels and no arms. No arms to the chair, because that's going to limit your movement. Also, if you have carpal tunnel syndrome, and I know some of you out there do, and I know actually some of JJ's members have it. And so we want to have you avoid this movement. But it doesn't matter where the position of the arm is. It's the position of that hand. That's a wrist extension. If I turn it over, it's still a wrist extension. So when we're doing some of that back bending work, I'm going to advise you to make sure you're working on your cupped fingertips, because you see now the wrist is not in a wrist extension, especially if you're in a chair. The tendency is to push and then you go into wrist extension. So then you would just grab your seat with your fingers. Also, if you have rotator cuff muscle issues deep to the shoulders, I'm having a bit of an issue in you see it as my right side. It's actually technically my real left. Also, if you pinched nerve at the neck, and I'm going to re-invite, medicated or not, for hypertension into this part of the conversation, because anything that brings your arms up and overhead might be a little dicey for you. So you just go up to the level that is appropriate. The one thing that everybody must avoid, because you see, I'm listing a bunch of chronic issues, right? So the one thing that all chronic issues have in common is they're chronic and sometimes they're acute. That means pain is involved. Do not do anything that puts you in pain. So therefore, whether or not you have the chronic concerns that I've just mentioned, if you have others, you're all invited to preview the video before participating in it. Look for what you can do. But if you're still confused, then I would invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to preview the video as well and then help you make an informed decision, because it's all about an informed decision, folks. It's not about second guessing. So let's see, I think I covered all of that. So now I think we're going to begin here. Sounds good, JJ? Let's get started.
Sounds great.
Work. Good.
Thank
Good.
you.
Glad to hear it. Thank
I
you.
figured out how to stay in so I could hear you. Dawn gave me the lesson.
Thank you, Dawn. Appreciate
I
it.
love it. Thank you for doing this.
Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to place the hands on top of the lap. And on the inhale, I'm going to glide my hands up toward the groin, lift the heart, open the shoulders. I am coming into a baby back bend called a spine extension. It's also the seated cow. Careful, TIA stroke. I need your head neutral, but you can take the nice little back bend. Then on the exhale, those of you with those flexion issues, you're going to come right here to neutral, while the rest of us are going to come into spine flexion. Notice I have my head up, straightening the elbows, reaching over the knees, and then lastly, lowering the head down. This is called a seated cat. It is a seated abdominal crunch. And then inhale, like glide the hands up, open up the chest, relax the shoulders down. Exhale, we come into spine flexion, seated cat. Inhale, spine extension, seated cow. Exhale, spine flexion, seated cat. Hold here for the moment. Relax the neck, please. Relax the shoulders, but draw that belly button so far in. You want to feel the belly button coming out the small of the back. We are engaging the deepest of the core muscles, the transverse abdominis. And then you slowly come back up to center. I'm going to face you now. And let's come into some nice big shoulder rolls. What I'm not doing is this. I'm not pumping my elbows. I'm elevating, rolling back, depressing, pushing down. You might feel or hear a little snap, crackle, pop. That's perfectly okay. It's not always arthritis. Some people go right there. Sometimes it's just the little bubbles. You're moving around in your body through movement. You're transporting oxygen, blood, lymph throughout the body. And now we're going to sit with the legs wide apart. But for those of you with osteoporosis of the hips or hip replacement, I'm going to show you first, and the others can join in. I'm bringing my legs more narrow. So I'm going to do a movement here that's a derivative of something called the Sufi grind. And what it is, it's actually like doing a hula. So you take your time. It's a blending of several movements of the spine. And we're going to break those down in a moment. And I'm going to reverse direction. I love this movement. I give this movement to my prenatal students. They usually, you'll hear a lot of, when I give this to them. So now I'm going to bring the legs wider for those of you who want to make it a bigger movement. So it's a Sufi grind containing spine extension, spine flexion, lateral flexion, which is side bending, and also rotation of the spine. I'm going to reverse direction. So if you're sitting down a lot due to work or health issues, do this. It's just a nice way to release the back. I'm going to hold here and gently roll on up. Remember, we're not going to drop the head down, though, for medicated or not hypertension, vertigo, and GERD. Now, I'm placing my arms to the inside of the thighs, not the inner knees. The patella, the kneecap, is not officially attached. It kind of floats, and if you push against that patella, you could potentially malalign it. So puffing up the chest, pressing the thighs back, just stretching open those hip adductor muscles. That would be the inner thigh muscles. You stretch a muscle by doing the opposite action of the muscle. Therefore, I put it into hip abduction, abduction. abduction. Now from here, turning my palms down on my thighs, I'm just going to bring my feet a little closer, and I'm going to lift very high onto the balls of the feet. I want to start pumping the calf muscles, particularly for people who are sitting in a chair all day long. And I'm going to slowly lower the feet down, articulating the soles of the feet, and I'm going to lift up. Go for that full and complete contraction of the calf and slowly lower and lift up, pause, and slowly down. We're going to go for 2 more. Remember, this is just a beginner's class, nothing crazy on the ball, but a good tool to aid balance. And now I'm going to hold here. I just want to hold in the contraction of those calf muscles. When you work on a ball, you will feel your toes clench because that's part of balance. You might even feel a little instability in your ankles. They're doing their job. They're moving to create balance for you. I know it sounds a little bit like say what, but that's what they do. They kind of shift and wobble to help you find an equilibrium. Now I'm going to lower one heel down, lift the other, and I'm going to alternate. This is a pumping movement. So for those of you who are sitting a long time, you might notice that sometimes there's a buildup of fluid in the toes, the feet, the ankles, maybe even in the calves. If you do pumping movement like this, you'll shift the fluid away. It'll start to just go back into the body. Hold here, and then slowly lower the feet down. And I'm going to bring the feet a little closer together by toe and healing it. Hold for the moment. Take some nice big shoulder rolls. And I'm going to sit on the diagonal again. This time I want to emphasize a little bit more of the spine extension, the back bending. So I'm bringing one arm up, cup the fingertips to the ball for those of you with carpal tunnel, and the other arm. And I'm going to thrust my chest, lift the chin, working on what's called modified cobra, Bhujangasana. Who doesn't do this? TIA stroke. Head would be here, right? And breathe. Breath in and out. So inhale, exhale, I'm going to release it. But inhale, I'm going to come back into it. Exhale, release, belly button is in. Inhale, exhale, release. One more. Inhale, hold here, and slowly come back to center. Now I'm going to grab a block, and I'm going to turn here in the ball, on the ball I should say. I'm going to bring my legs wide apart. Placing the block on my left thigh, I then bring my left forearm onto the block. The block is at level 1. This is called level 1. The palm is facing the ceiling. Double checking my feet are in the same line as each other. Now I'm going to do a lateral flexion, a side bend. So I'm going to push down on the block to then help turn my sternum. Sternum is the breastbone, just up toward the ceiling. It's not a big twist or anything like that at all. It's just so that I don't want you sitting with the left chest collapsed down. I want to avoid collapsing your side organs. So you bring the right hand to the waist, hold here. Now, if you have rotator cuff issue, pinched nerve at the neck, I would consider keeping the hand here. Otherwise, you can reach your arm out, up. Now, maybe, like in my case, I can go straight up without an issue today on the right side. Arcing it, not so friendly for me. So I'm going to avoid any discomfort like that, but I'm going to still work on elongation. I am definitely still doing a side bend, expanding and stretching the intercostal muscles between the ribs, which are responsible for 25% of your respiratory cycle, as well as stretching the internal and external oblique muscles at the waist, which help you turn and twist at the torso and waist. Inhale, turn the palm up, grab an imaginary hook. Exhale, come all the way back to center. Push down into that right foot as much as you reach out to the right. And now I transfer the block over. Right forearm on the block, palm up, turning sternum away from the floor. Left hand to waist. So you know what you need to do if you have rotator cuff or pinched nerve. Otherwise, you can take it up and over. So I want to match energy coming out through the left middle finger, pressing down into that left heel. Oof, I got a big stretch at the hip adductor muscles, inner thighs, lots of length in the side body as well. Make sure your shoulder isn't going up into your ear. And then inhale, turn the palm up, grab a hook, push down into your left heel. Exhale, come back to center. Now from here, what I'd like to do for the moment is, because we just stretched the breathing accessory muscles, I'm going to toe heel the feet a little closer together, but not all the way together. And I'm going to place my hands on my side ribs. I'm just going to take a moment here to focus in on some breathing for you. So hands on the side ribs, not on the front. On the inhale, notice the ribs start to expand like an accordion. And then on the exhale, they will naturally retract. Now, this is not you trying to muscle it up and push your ribs out. It's nothing like that. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale out the nose. So all of the breathing in yoga is done in and out through the nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go for 2 more rounds. And lower the arms down. Let's just take a couple of nice big shoulder rolls to relax it. So you're just seeing here that these are just ways that people, especially if you're coming home from work now, it's just a great way to chill out and yet still be in movement. So now I'm going to take both of my blocks and I'm going to sit with the legs out, putting the blocks down at level 3. So here's level 3, the highest level of the block. Down in front of me. Hands are on the blocks. Now notice the position of my wrist. This is not for carpal tunnel, right? So carpal tunnel, you can make a soft fist, not curling your fingernails into your skin. I don't want to cut your skin. It's why I'm calling it a soft fist. And you can work up high. Just be careful that your block doesn't, pop out away from you. So inhale, lift the head and the heart. Exhale, hold. So what I'm working here is, though I'm in flexion, right? And this is not for people with the flexion issues. I'm not going to do this, please. You can sit upright and sit with your legs wide apart for the seated wide angle. So for this is called Prasarita Parottanasana. It's part of what's called separated leg stretch. What I'm doing is working on lengthening the spine in the forward flexion. And then if you feel pretty good, maybe experiment with going a little deeper into the stretch. Maybe yes, maybe no. I'm pushing the ground away while lengthening the spine, yet while flexing it. And are you breathing in and out through the nose? So it is suggested to not eat anything at all for a solid 2 to 3 hours before doing a yoga practice. And I'm going to try a little deeper with the blocks down on level 1. Maybe that works for you. Maybe it doesn't, You just go to what you can handle. Breathing into your back muscles. Now I'm going to play with this. I'm going to experiment. How about hands to the mat? Maybe yes. Or maybe you need still a little more lift. You can always cup your fingertips. I'm looking out in front. Remember, medicated or not, hypertension, vertigo, GERD, head up. But now I'm going to go for it. I'm going to just let myself go. Oh, man, do I feel that in that low back. Man, is that a nice lengthened feeling. Breathing in and out, pressing the knees open. If you have to turn your feet in a little bit to get your knees a little open, that's okay. And then when I go to come back up, I'm going to come up sequentially the way I did to go down. So blocks level 1, looking out in front. And now level 2, up to level 3. And maybe hands to the thighs. You can either roll up or come forward to come up. Hold steady a moment. Make sure you're not dizzy, folks. And I'm just going to move the blocks to the side. And again, with the feet a little more narrow, I'm going to take my little hula movement, that smaller version of a Sufi grind. And reverse. Ooh, I'm getting nice spine adjustments here. Last one. Great. All right, so now I'm going to bring my legs open wide, turning the right foot out at 90 degrees, pivot the left heel. And here's where it's super challenging for Angela and for most women. Honestly, it's a challenging posture for the female body because I'm going to want to turn this way, right? So let me pull my butt flesh out, turn it, pivot, and I want to encourage the hips to be straight forward. Good luck with that, right? So put the hand here and encourage those thighs back. Just kind of hold the pelvis forward. Pressure points, outer back heel, mound of the front big toe. The front heel is in the same line as the mid-arch of the back foot. That basically is stating that it's bisecting the arch of the back foot. Then I bring the arms out, turn and look to the right. I'm looking beyond my right middle finger as I reach back through the left middle finger. Always oppositional movement in yoga occurring at all times for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So inhale the palms up, exhale the palms down, inhale palms up, exhale palms down. One more of each. Inhale palms up, exhale palms down. Now, inhale as I lean and reach forward, think somebody's pulling you back. Exhale, forearm to thigh. Now I bring my left hand to I come around the outside of the torso to the underside of the ribs to self-adjust, spiraling my sternum toward the ceiling. Left hand to the waist, especially for rotator cuff or pinched nerve. But you can also go out, up, and over. Do not bend the elbow. Keep a straight elbow. For Utthita Parsva Konasana, extended side angle pose. Breath is in and out through the nose, energy connecting from the left middle finger to the outer left heel. Inhale, palm up, reach up. Exhale, I return to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Inhale, lean and reach back as somebody's trying to pull me forward. Exhale, left hand down. You can go right hand to waist or arm up and over. I'm going to reach straight up for this side. Holding here in Exalted Warrior. Turn that sternum toward the ceiling, not toward the wall behind you. You're not twisting here. And breathe. And then inhale, palm up, exhale, push down into both feet. Come back to center to Virabhadrasana 2, splitting the mat in half with the power of your 2 feet. This is a very male-oriented posture. That's why it's more difficult for the female body to maintain this hip rotation. Inhale, head forward. Exhale, hands to the heart, and then I'm going to relax it a bit and toe heel the feet. Ooh la la. I'm going to do a few of the seated cat-cow to release that spine a little bit. And there are postures that are very much designed for or complementary to the female physique, like a posture called goddess. So there are postures that are more challenging for one sex and the other. And slowly come up. We're going to take this whole thing over to the other side, folks. Feet wide. Okay, left foot turned out at 90. Pivot heel. I want to make sure front heel, same line as mid-arch of back foot, belly button in. So I can tell right away that this side, you see how I just more naturally go into it? I just more naturally go into it with the hips straight forward. This high pelvic bone is the iliac crest. That's what I'm referring to in this case, okay? So just want to double check myself. Yep, arms out. Looking beyond the left middle finger, think somebody's reaching and pulling you back to the right. Hold here, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 pose. Pressure points, outer back heel, mound of front big toe. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, palms down. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, palms down. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, palms down. Inhale, lean and reach forward. Somebody's pulling you back. Exhale, forearm to thigh. Self-adjust, ribs, sternum toward the ceiling. Hand to waist or arm straight up or over. I'm not liking the over today on that shoulder. So I'm going to reach up. And push, 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 push. Use that left forearm to push that left thigh back. Belly button is in. Utthita Parsva Konasana, extended side angle pose. And now inhale, come all the way back up. Return through Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Lean and reach back. Somebody's trying to pull me in this direction, the opposite direction. Lower hand down. Spiral the heart up. Arm up and over. Exalted warrior. Lift the chest. You really want to make your movements big and dramatic in yoga because we want to really extend and lengthen, engage the muscles. And are you breathing? And inhale, turn the palm up. Exhale, we're going to return to Virabhadrasana 2. Again, split the mat in half with the power of your 2 feet. Inhale, head forward. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Turn the foot in and toe heel the feet. Yay, 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 yay. I'm going for it again. Go for that hula, baby. It's a great way to release it all. Now, I'm going to actually come off the ball. I'm going to move my blocks out of the way. Do I really need them for anything? I don't think so. So let's move them out of the way now. And I'm going to do what I call standing up on the knees. If you have knee issues but you feel like you can get down on them, put more cushioning underneath your knees. I have a good, nice, thick mat here, so I'm good. But if this hurts your knees, don't do this, okay? Now, so if you are able to do it, I'm going to work on something called, it's just a variation of downward facing dog. So with the hands on the ball, I have the toes tucked under, by the way, behind me. I'm walking the ball away, And now I'm going to start to bend. And notice the spine is straight. And I'm pressing down. Don't let this collapse happen. Pull the belly button up and in. Palms are flat on the ball. And I'm really lengthening the back. Belly button is engaged. Now, another way to do this, let's roll the ball in, working abdominally to roll back up. I'm going to place the forearms on the ball, and I'm going to walk the ball away. Keep the elbows on the ball. It's just another way to do this. Notice the palms are facing each other. Don't let the collapse back happen. Pull the belly button in. Beautiful stretch along the sides of your body. Also the back body as well, particularly the back muscles. And we're going to roll that ball in. Now I'm going to show you another way to approach a down dog on the ball. Some people might even call it a dolphin pose. So we've got some animal theme going on here. Really fun for those of us whole food plant-based. So I'm going to roll over the ball and do a forward bend on the ball here for the moment. Now from here, with the palms flat, be careful carpal tunnel. You're going to go for the soft fist. You're going to jackknife your legs. Heels are down. Now for some people, they may not be able to keep the heels down, so you don't. You can put blocks underneath your hands. You can do the soft fist for carpal tunnel. Hold here. Keep poking the tail up. Legs are straight. Toes and fingers stretched wide apart. Almost slightly, ever so slightly, turning the heels slightly away from each other. And then I'm going to slowly bend the knees to lower back down on the ball. I'm just going to drape myself prone over the ball. Turn the head to either direction, but preferably turn the head to both directions. When I do that, I then switch the hand that's on top and I turn the head in the opposite direction. It's just a really lovely feeling. And breathe and slowly come up. Now, from here, I'm going to move myself toward the corner of the mat. And I'm going to come back down on the floor. I want to come into a plank pose. So I need a bit more length to do this. So I'm going to roll forward on the ball, walk forward, lift the legs so the feet are the height of the gluteals, the buttocks. Do not collapse. Push the ground away. Belly button is in. Make your focus with your eyes be out in front of you so you don't have a saggy head going on. Breathing in and out. Now, if you really want more work here, I might be slightly off camera with part of my hands and all that. You walk forward, and the closer the ball is to the knees or below the knees, the more abdominal work. And I have to work even more so with the arms, as the arms are plugged into the shoulder joints. Really good, strong arms, upper body work, lots of lower body work with the abdominals, the gluteals, the quadricep muscles. They're all fired up. The further forward you are on the ball, the more intense the plank will become. Just hold here for another couple of deep breaths. Eyes of the elbows, elbow creases facing forward. Carpal tunnel, watch the position of wrist extension. And then I'm going to slowly walk back, bringing the knees back down. And you can take that draping over the ball again, prone. Other side, change the position of the hands. Now, I want to drape over the ball to the side. So we're going to do a lateral flexion. When you do this, okay, I bring the leg out. First off, I'm lining up my ankle to my knee to my hip joint. Now I'm going to sink this way to get the ball as close to my side body as possible as I shimmy the foot in on the opposite side. Again, spiral the sternum away from the ball. You can bring hand to waist or arm up and over. You can even grab your wrist and pull. In Padidasana, closed gate pose, are you breathing? And then I'm going to fold toward the ball, and drape over it again. Opposite hand. All right, I'm going to take the ball to the other side. You can tell that T was on this mat before with me. I'm whisking him away for the moment. All right, so I lean away and then come toward it. I'm going to be a little too close to the chest for there. So there we go. Yeah, you don't want all of this away from the ball because it'll hurt your back. You want that ball right up against you, ankle to the knee to the hip, arm, hand to waist or arm up and over. In this case, because it's a diagonal, I can do it. And Padidasana, closed gate pose. Breathe into that side body. My head is on the ball. And then again, folding toward the ball, draping prone. Prone means face down over it. You can also do it where you're up like this. It's another nice way. You can bring your legs wide apart. You can bring your feet together. All of it gives you a different sense of an opening across the span and breadth of your back. And then slowly coming down. Now from here, I'm going to come onto the ball and show you a nice big back extension to counter all of that forward bending, right? So I'm going to go, let's see. Yeah, I think I'll begin over here for you. And it's also fun, by the way, folks, to do a little bit of bouncing on the ball. Really good for the lymphatic system.
I was going to ask that.
Oh, yeah.
I've been learning about the lymphatic system.
There you go. It's not as great as, a rebounder, but it's still fun and a really good thing to do. So when a kid gets on a ball, you ever notice their natural instinct is to bounce?
Uh-huh.
It's built in. They're smart about that stuff. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start to, let me come a little closer in. So I'm going to start to roll down on the ball. Now, first I'm going to do this with the knees bent and just drape back. Oh, just so good. It's a lovely feeling to offset all the forward flexion of the spine we do all day long. And then you can also straighten the legs out. You can lift your arms straight up behind your head to the floor. I'm not going to do that today, only because of my right shoulder, the left shoulder, but you could do it if you feel good doing that. Let this all open up across the chest, the front shoulders. The abdominals are stretching. The hip flexors, the quadriceps. I mean, the list goes on and on. The throat muscles. Folks, if you have thyroid issues, you want to do stuff that opens your neck and throat. Because as soon as I do this and I start to bring the chin up, now we're going to get a blood rush to your neck and throat. And that can only be good for your thyroid. And I'm just going to do a little bit of bouncing. And finally, I'm going to come to the floor, working with the ball on our backs. And let's see if this will work. JJ, let me know if you can see okay with me like this. Is this pretty good?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to just kind of bring the ball closer to my butt and right up against my thighs. Bring your arms straight out from the shoulders, palms down. Now you have to kind of see what kind of fabric you're wearing because the ball can slide out. So I'm just going to dip my knees over to the right, turn and look to the left, and then come back to center. Dip the knees toward the opposite, because I don't know how you see it, and I don't know if my pants are going to let me do this. And exhale, center. So you can just move a little bit from side to side. Side to side movements are a form of twisting, right? And they are excellent to help with constipation and to absolutely support the action of peristalsis, which is that pumping that goes on in your intestines, your large colon, to help when you're ready to defecate and void. And just one more to the other side and back to center. Now you can stay here or you can push down, bring your arms closer, and you can do a bridging where you lift your butt off the floor and then slowly pull the belly button in, lower down. You can let the ball go down to your ankles or underneath your calves. One more, and I'm going to hold. Puff up the chest, really use those arms. And then I'm going to take my time lowering down one vertebra at a time. Coming down toward the floor. Let your buttocks be the last thing to lower down. Pull the ball in toward you. You can just relax here for a few moments. Turn the palms up. We come into a final relaxation. So in the spirit of yoga, just take a few moments to express gratitude and appreciation for good health, appreciating our bodies for working so hard for us, and in gratitude and appreciation for Jen Judd and Dawn James for opening their platform to us and giving us this space and time to share a yoga practice with each other. And the word yoga means a yoking union. So we come together in the spirit of yoga and unite our energies as one for self-healing and the health and well-being of each other. The light and spirit within me honors the light and spirit within all of you. And this translates into one word. And that word is namaste. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, love.
That was amazing. I wasn't sure how, like, if I was supposed to talk right after. I don't know yoga etiquette.
Oh, that's fine. No, that's all good. I'm not, I don't believe in yoga police.
The yoga police are gonna come get me. All right, let me see here.
And were there any questions from anybody?
Marakita actually had a question. Or I'm sorry, let's call her Harmonic Earth Healers, her new page. She's on here sharing. I love that. Please, everybody, go subscribe. She was asking, does carpal tunnel ever go away?
It can.
I said it was due to inflammation. I was guessing. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, anything that is like hurt, there's some kind of inflammation going on, right? But there's inflammation that we think of in terms of like from an injury, and then there's internal inflammation because of maybe a bad diet or something. But oftentimes, what carpal tunnel stems from is repeat activity, and it's stressful activity being repeated over and over and over.
Is that like typing?
Yes, that's the number one thing that you want to look at. So in this case, what you want to double check would be your ergonomics of your setup of the computer, your chair, your keyboard. So if are you doing this on the keyboard like this? Some people are like
Ah,
this, okay? Some people are like this. So what you want is you want your wrists flat. That's right. Mio knows I'm right.
that was Menu this time.
Oh,
She
okay.
wanted to chime in, and he'll get mad if she comes near me though while he's on the chair. They're very possessive.
So I hope that helps Marikita understand that it's really repetitive. It's a form of repetitive stress syndrome. You know, you'll also see some athletes get this, like oftentimes racket sports, people get
Oh,
carpal
like
tunnel. Yeah, yeah.
like I heard of tennis elbow. That's
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
right?
So with tennis elbow, which is medial epicondylitis, and golfer's elbow, which is lateral. Pardon me. Golfer's elbow is medial epicondylitis, and tennis elbow is lateral epicondylitis. You know, when they're hitting the ball like this,
Yeah.
right? And then
Okay.
with golf, it's going this
The
way.
other way.
Okay, so they get weirded. You know, there are times I'll get a little bit of something, and I'm like, all right, I got to lay off whatever particular exercise for a while with either golfers or tennis elbow. But the thing is when you let's say if it's coming from weightlifting, then you want to just hey hello, take down the weight. Maybe
Hmm.
the weight is just a little too intense, or maybe where you placed an exercise might be a little too challenging, you know. But you have to be really honest with yourself, Marikita, and figure out. So can you do more dictation versus typing? And
Right.
and can can you? I'm thinking it's tea. And can you also do like be on what is it? What is it when you have the speakerphone? When you have can you do
Right.
this?
Like talk to text type.
Yes, use Siri. Whatever you have to do, use something that gives you a break on those wrists.
I used to, funny story, when I first heard of it, I called it corporate tunnel because it was like, I thought it was from the workplace, right? And I don't know. I think I said it wrong and everybody was laughing one time.
You know how many corporate people I know who have gotten that operation,
Wow.
right?
I do a lot of typing, but luckily my job now I'm more on the phone than typing, but now I'm helping in the chat this week, so I definitely can feel I'm going to watch myself how I'm
All right,
typing.
so I'm going to come closer to the camera here now.
Hmm.
And I don't have the light though. The lights are all back here. So let
I
me,
had one more question after this if we
I
have time.
want to show this for Marikita. So, Marikita, you let your arm dangle like this. Hand is dangling. My wrist is lower than my shoulder. Opposite hand comes around the top here, not above, not pulling on the fingers, right in here, the dorsal side of the hand. And I'm pushing both ends into each other. I am not hyperextending my elbow. I'm not locking out. Okay? If you have carpal tunnel, you can do this. The opposite stretch would be contraindicated for carpal tunnel. But if you don't have it and you do a lot of computer, you want to do this as well. But don't lock this out over here. So you're doing two opposing. So what am I stretching here? I'm stretching the wrist flexors. Okay? Here, I'm stretching the extensors. So therefore, this is actually will be helpful for carpal tunnel because you're stretching the extensors.
Okay.
Okay, so this could be two good movements.
Oh, that's excellent. Thank you.
Sure.
Look, you're like a wealth of knowledge. Everyone watching, I'm sure out of all the people that are going to watch this, there's definitely people who have that issue or that feel like it's coming on, and
And
they'll
especially in today's day and age with the texting and
it's all we're doing.
a lot of
Totally.
people get a trigger finger. Okay,
Hmm.
Dupuytren's contracture is what it's called technically. Dupuytren's contracture. And what happens is the tendons here at this particular joint, all right, any one of these, they will pull, get tight, and pull you into what's called a trigger finger. It'll create that. So what you want to do for something like that is gently, because some people do this stuff and they go hard and it's like, oh great, you're gonna get hurt.
Right.
You're gonna get hurt. It's human. Be nice. Okay.
Nice.
Notice I'm in wrist extension and I'm gonna pull one fingertip at a time. Just give a stretch to that joint that you want to stretch from. So we're getting the fingers, all the muscles there. And I feel this all the way up through the forearm, right? We're pulling. And you do that on both hands. And then you come here, all right, with the hand like so, and you pull down. Go toward up here, the higher knuckle, all right? Pull down and down and down. These are just little tips to just get through what we have to do, especially as entrepreneurs, vegan entrepreneurs and stuff. And we're doing our own shows or whatever it is that we're doing. We're all typing a lot. There is no way around it. And if you could use the devices to help with the wrists, the fingers, free them up, it would be good to do, because these are the kind of things that are contemporary injuries.
And we don't crack them.
Oh, I do.
We do? Okay. Well, I've been told so many different things about that. Like, don't crack your knuckles, you'll get arthritis and all this and that. So I was wondering that.
That is just all old stuff, and I am a big believer in chiropractic work. I'm a big believer. I'm like, crack anything you want to crack.
Well, there's what I was actually, that leads me into my next question. So as you know, or those who don't know, I was telling Angela, she inspired me by coming on here all these times, and I watch her workout videos, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start doing at least 10 minutes of weights every day and 10 minutes on the stepper. If that's all I do, that's fine. If I can do 20 minutes, an hour. But I was putting it off because I'm like, oh, I don't have a whole hour, So I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. Now, everything was going good. I was doing the 3-pound weights. I was doing this type of thing. And then I was doing this, and I did like this. So like I did like 3 different reps and then the one like this, right? But the 4th day or so, I went to do it and my shoulder cracked.
Hold the phone. Are you doing these same exercises daily?
Yes. Not a good idea.
No. You need to vary your exercises. This is what happens. You'll get injured from it's just excessive. You're not giving your body a chance to recover. So
got it.
Vary it up. I want you to do something every day. Absolutely, I encourage it, and I think it's great. Not the same thing. This is the problem that people get stuck in. They get stuck in repeat work. Same thing, day in, day out. And several things happen. First off, a tendency for injury, okay? But the other thing that happens is the body says, oh, I know what's coming. And therefore, I don't have to make any more adaptation processes. You want the body to be surprised. You want the body to go, when I do the weightlifting on your show, you hear me making the noises and everything. Trust me, my body's not getting used to it. And I'm doing that on purpose.
Okay.
That's why you do all these different kind of exercises.
That makes a lot of sense.
When you come to my channel, if people come to my channel, they're going to see all kinds of different stuff going on over there. And a lot of it's because of me. I know that I will personally reap the rewards of diversifying the exercises and the movements.
So while you're teaching, you're actually getting that workout in. That's why you have all those muscles and you're in good shape. See, that's what it is. And just to, because I like to mention this every time, because I know it's very special to you because of your own healing journey. Can you explain the importance both like a little bit of aerobic and the strength training. I know for our muscles and bones, I remember you telling me that it was very important for especially women to strength train.
Yeah, I mean, it's imperative that females do resistance work. And it all comes down to, you want to get osteoporosis or not, because
Mhm.
we lose estrogen as we get older. It's a natural process. Don't let anybody frighten you. Osteopenia is not a pathology. It is normal to decrease bone density. Osteoporosis, this is with the capital uppercase O. It is a pathology. That is a really big deal. Okay. So I know that I have osteopenia. I used to have osteoporosis. Osteoporosis freaked me out. Osteopenia, I'm like, I got this, because I still do the weightlifting. I still work on my balance. Okay. So I'm not saying get cocky. If you're diagnosed with osteopenia,
Mhm.
use it for information. Get your butt moving with strength training. What do we want? We want strong bones, strong muscles. That doesn't correlate with big muscles.
Mhm.
You see muscle on me, not because my muscles are big, it's because my body fat is low. That's why you see muscle. You don't see it because it's bulging through. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because, I jiggle around too, like everybody else. I don't have those kind of big, extraordinary muscles. I'm not
Well,
doing.
they're better than mine. Mine are a little more jiggly.
All right, well, but that's only because of
I
years
know.
of fine tuning and stuff, right? And of course, we want to do some cardio, although from decades ago, remember, I'm working at this now 37, 38 years. And what I've seen over the decades is there was far too much emphasis on cardio in my generation. And that
Okay.
has spilled over into younger generations. That's not going to enhance your ability to burn fat any more by doing more cardio. This is how people get abusive with exercise.
Mhm.
Oh, I overate. I'm going to have to, jog another 3 miles. Yeah, that's not the way it works. It just
Oh,
doesn't work
okay.
that way. You do your intensity. You don't need to do that, hour and a half of whatever it is. Um, but make sure you are in effort, strolling around, window shopping, and go cut it.
Mhm.
You're not going to do it. You need to be, you want to be able to talk. Well, I should say, you can talk, but you don't want to. That's what the breathing is like. So
Okay.
some people can sing when they think they're exercising. That's a problem. It's a problem. It's not enough effort. Only you get to determine what effort is appropriate for you, right?
Right.
That's it. And if it's too much effort, pull back. Who's telling you to go into that place of total discomfort? But overdoing it on cardio, wrong. You will not lose the fat that way. The way you lose the fat is you got to cut the fat from the food,
Mhm.
and you got to have strength training and appropriate cardio for you.
And just to
You
like
want to help your heart too, but don't forget one thing, just to tell you, JJ, the heart responds to weightlifting as well.
oh, nice.
Remember, the work is not, the work is systemic. We are affecting many, many body systems, 10, 11, 12 at one time, when we're eating well and when we're exercising. The benefits are not just about cardio, just the heart. There's so much more involved.
That's amazing. Thank you. And I think next time, or one of these times, I would love to talk more. I want to get to how we can find you and everything before the end. But I wanted to tell you that I would love to hear more about the lymphatic system and how exercise
Well,
plays.
I have 2 videos on my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. I'll get on there and check them out.
I have a video that discusses, just all it is a short presentation on the lymphatic system. I'm not showing any exercise. And then there's another one that shows some exercise.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I'll check. I knew you had to have some content. I knew you had the knowledge in there, but I haven't had a chance to go through every single video. I catch the new ones, and then I never get to
And
the
this is,
older ones.
I guess it's at least a year old. I'm going to put them as at least a year old.
And
Just
I just know from Angela, she recommends. Oh, go ahead.
if you plug in Boomer and Beyond Wellness
Hmm.
lymphatic system, the videos will pop up.
Got it. And I'll put that in the description too, since we
Sure.
talked about it.
I appreciate it.
And the diet you recommend, of course, is I'm going to go out on a limb and say whole food plant based diet and as much fresh food. I know. Well, I don't know if that's just your diet that
Yeah,
you
no, I don't. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say as many
whole foods.
whole foods as possible. That's right. But also, I eat. I'm high raw. I'm not all raw, but I high
Hmm.
raw. It's like 80% raw and 20% cooked. But what there is the connective theme with all of it are the dark greens.
Hmm.
Dark greens, not just light green in my leaves. Dark green, because this is the high mineral content.
Like kale, spinach,
Right. You
Swiss chard type
Swiss
stuff,
chard, yeah, but you can also do,
arugula.
you can, yes, absolutely. You can just grab a spring mix will do. All right.
Right.
Spring mix got
Okay.
you covered, okay?
And it's
And
springtime.
yeah, and the most potent, by the way, according to Dr. Michael Greger, from an anti-cancer perspective, is radicchio, which is the reddish lettuce, okay? It shows it has components that are anti-cancer of 8 different forms of cancer.
That's
So,
amazing.
right, you get
I'll write
yourself
it down.
a big fan of spring mix because there's a variety of the greens in there. But I know some people find it, oh, it's so bitter. Right. So, like I rarely put any like dressing. I really do. I rarely ever. But you can put a little fruit with your greens. I eat my almost always have greens with fruit. It's a great way to eat the green. It makes it flavorful. But I'll do something sometimes simple. If it's just a salad and I don't have a little fruit in it, and it's got lots of fresh veggies and even some frozen veggies thawed out, I might add now and then maybe a little combination of organic apple cider vinegar
Hmm.
and organic like red wine vinegar or balsamic vinegar, just a
Hmm.
little bit. Sometimes I'll add a squeeze of, I'm not a big fan of lemon on anything. I'm just not a fan.
Oh, don't tell Dawn. She loves her lemon.
No, I'm not discouraging anybody who does that. I'm just saying for me, you can do a squeeze of orange on
Hmm.
your greens. You can do a squeeze of lime, blend it with the vinegar. It's really nice.
I love fruit now in salads. I never used to. Real quick though, I know we got to wrap up soon.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to say, can you just kind of summarize to us what is the best way to find you so we can get out there? I know I have all your links, but if you want to just tell us where we can find you, because I want to make sure everybody goes and subscribes.
Well, thank you. So I would love it. If anybody wants to connect with me, because I do work virtually, so sometimes people do inquire into my services for virtual personal training, and it is for those who are 50 years and beyond, for also virtual hatha yoga, and also prenatal yoga, opposite end of the spectrum. Or if anybody lives in the Fort Lauderdale area, I do on-site for licensed massage therapy. You can contact me by way of the contact form on my website. That means it's a disease, by the way. A disease process is a pathology. So you can contact me on my website, which is boomerandbeyondwellness.com. And there's a contact form there to give you an idea of how I work. But also, if you want to really see me in action and see me with the work, come to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. It is Boomer and Beyond Wellness as well. If you plug in my name, you're going to go to an old site. It's going to tell you go to Boomerang Beyond Wellness, and you can see the different ways in which I work. So I do 60-minute private sessions, but I also do my 10-minute sessions where people hire me for the Have It Your Way workouts that they'll see on YouTube. And basically will work with me just for 10 minutes on one exercise. So this way, people with these chronic concerns and conditions can actually create their own exercise protocol, one exercise at a time. So this way, they don't have to be afraid or too timid to work out, because most of these people are afraid because they've gotten injured in the past.
I love the way you customize those for people. That's really good. I don't think many people without, going to a gym and things like that can have that done. So I love what you're doing there. And I know, hopefully, I think in next month, I believe you're going to be joining me with your teammate there that you've paired up with.
Yep,
Teamed
Vicky,
up with.
Chef Vicky Brett Gack, and we're going to do a presentation which is Strengthen and Nourish for Life. So there's going to be a weightlifting class that I present, and then Chef Vicky Brett Gack is going to appear after and actually present a very simple whole food plant-based meal that we really talked quite a bit about, because I wanted it to be nutritious. This is for people who work out. This is a great meal from a nutrition perspective. It's delicious and it's simple, because I told her, when
Love that.
you do a real workout, man, you tired afterwards. You do not, I don't want to cook and all that crap. I don't want to do all that. But if there's a way to make something that you can prepare that's easy, go for it, and that's what she does. So we really are enjoying doing these presentations.
That is amazing. I'm so excited for that. I have to double check the date, but I think it's in the middle of May.
Yeah, it's definitely in May for sure.
I'll be definitely posting about that soon and giving you more information. And please go subscribe to Angela's channel. Like, she should have 1 million by now. So she has such great content. If you see a video and you see that it talks about a condition that someone you know has, share them. It helps us so much in the algorithm to help get this information out there that's really we're passionate about. You can tell her passion and how much she helps people. And so let's go subscribe and definitely go to her website and contact her. I know, speaking of clients, I know you have clients, so we can't run too long, but I definitely appreciate you coming on and sharing all this. I know we didn't get to go as much into your journey. I like to repeat it every time, but I knew we had a time frame and an agenda, and we got through the yoga, so that's awesome for all the beginner yogas. If you're a beginner and you've enjoyed this, leave a comment. We loved comments. I know I respond to all of them, and if it's something for Angela, I will share it over to her. And Angela, anything else you got for me? You want to say anything else before we go?
I guess if anybody else wants to reach me by way of social media, they can do it. I'm really bad with Instagram. I do it, but I'm not great. But
I'm trying to.
Facebook is really my home turf. So if you want to reach out there and connect there too, definitely, you're welcome to. So don't ever be shy about, reaching out to ask me questions, etc.
Thank you so much to Mariquita for coming, and Harmonic Earth appearing like Angela with her AKA.
Oh, that's
Thank
so
you.
cool. I love it. I'm quacking up, she wrote.
And she said, what did she say here?
At the
Thank
elbow.
you guys for this powerful live.
Thank you, love.
It's always powerful when we have Angela. She just makes everybody's night a little brighter. I know I enjoy when you come on, and you're a great friend to me. Thank you for being there when
Thank you for
I
being
have questions.
as well. Thank you for being a friend to the community.
We definitely try to look out for each other, and I hope we can continue to grow our channels. I know mine is a little small. I appreciate you coming on here and giving us all your expertise. And I know there's plenty of other live streams you could be on, but I definitely, truly, truly appreciate you sharing this with my audience.
That should be the last thing somebody thinks of. I mean, when you want to get the word out there, who makes any other platform, what makes them any more important because they have a lot of numbers? I don't care. That stuff doesn't impress me. It's about the value of the content. It's about the intent of the presenters and how authentic they are. And if you're really coming from that place, you're not behind the scenes calculating, well, I'm going to give this one a lot of attention because, hey, they've spent a lot of money on me. This one hasn't spent so much money. I'm not really going to give them attention. I'm sorry. I can't go that path, folks. I don't appreciate it. And I see it done quite a bit in our community. And I much more gravitate to the people that I know are the real deal. And that's what I care about. I don't give a crap about the bells and whistles of a platform. I don't.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. That makes me feel great.
Yeah, don't ever think that. And if you encounter somebody who's like, oh, you don't have enough, subscribers and stuff, I would just be like, okay, be well, see ya.
I'll see you when I got 1,000,000.
You just
And
have
maybe not. Maybe I don't want to do see you then, right?
the pride of a big platform because that's what you're representing in yourself. This is a big message for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Message. And just because we have smaller platforms, that makes us less important. Get
No.
it down. It's not about getting on the cover of a magazine and spending $1,000 to be a membership somewhere, and that's how you wound up getting that cover. It's not about that.
Yeah.
Okay?
If anybody's going to be on the cover of a magazine around here, it's going to be Neo. He's the cuter of the two of us.
That's it. And I'm going to bring
And
T.
T, right? We'll put them both on there. Hey, is there one thing before you go, any piece of advice that you could give if you had to just say like one sentence or two to young women talking about their fitness goals and everything?
Right? Get started now. If you don't have a chunk of time, you do as JJ is doing. The recommendation is actually technically 3 10-minute sessions because there is a 30-minute minute minimum that is showing to have prevention and
Mm-hmm.
halting of various conditions and diseases. So I would tell people grab 3 10-minute segments. If you have a chunk of time, the kids are asleep, whatever it is, you have a lunch break and then you get another sort of 15, 20-minute break later in the day. Maybe you can figure out something with those two things.
Mm-hmm.
But don't let it overwhelm you that if
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that big, long chunk, I'm not doing it. Break it up. The best thing you can do then is break it up.
That's a great advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, love.
I really appreciate you coming on again. I know I've said that, but you are definitely an inspiration to all of us, and I can't wait for our next one already. I'm getting excited, and I can't wait to see the cooking demo and the workout that we have planned. Everyone, please subscribe and click notifications so you know when we post that Angela's on. Join the Facebook group in the description, and please join all of Angela's pages and subscribe to her so we can and let her know you were from Vegan Knowledge JJ. Thank you. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Mariquita. We'll see everybody soon. Thank you to everyone who's always here and watching. We really appreciate you.